As most of you know, it's the fourth Friday night of every month. We've been doing what we call treasure hunts or prophetic evangelism. And so this past Friday was the first time that we went out. So we went out this Friday. And do you want to tell them how it kind of works? Sure. Okay, just tell them kind of how it works and then tell them about your group.
Well, this is prophetic evangelism based on a book called Treasure Hunts. Is this on?
He needs to turn you up.
Oh, turned up. Okay, so there we are. If you think of the word prophetic evangelism, okay, so that kind of tells you the gist of it. You stop for a minute, you ask for God to lead you towards people, give you clues on what you're going to see when you go out. You know, not just going on yourself, but going on His power. What makes this a little different is you actually write down your clues. So as you're going out, you have the ability to kind of show those clues to people and say, hey, does anything on this here strike a chord with you? And it really made it easier for those of us that were nervous to go up and just open up conversations. We had a little paper to help us. So it was good. It was good. Tell them about how we got to where we got.
So when we came in, we all kind of broke up and just started writing down little hints and almost use it like a scavenger hunt. So there's a couple questions on there, like do you get a person's name, do you get a location, unusual things like colors or, dolphins or weird things, and then things maybe that you would pray for somebody for. So you have this kind of list of different things to get words about from the Lord. So I had gotten somewhere on the unusual, I had gotten the word creamsicle, but then eventually I really felt drawn to the ice cream. It's called Campbell's, right? Yep. The ice cream place on Parsons, south of 60. So when we came back together as a group, Rick started asking, that locations are important first. So he started asking the group, did anyone get a location? And a few of us got different things, and I felt really strongly about that. And then he also had asked, is there anything else on your list that lines up with that location? And I had gotten creamsicles. So, and they don't serve creamsicles, but hey, that worked.
It's a good hint.
Yeah.
So the two of us and Kelly Wilson went to Campbell's, and we were kind of excited. We're like, hey, if nothing happens, nothing happens. If something awesome happens, then it happens too. So we just went out saying, God, it's going to be you that moves, and we'll do it. There was a few people we met. The first person, we were kind of nervous, so we all got root beer floats. So just give us a little time to kind of sit there and sip for a while. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the couple clues we had gotten that Kelly and Becky and I had gotten, this couple was starting to match up. So I had seen an angel on the right shoulder of someone, and Kelly had seen dark brown hair, and I had seen little black and white dog, and you had seen back pain and sinus pressure. So we walk in, and the first person I see is a couple sitting there, a lady, and she has a tattoo of a cross and like rosary beads on her right-hand shoulder. So I said, okay, God, that's close enough. I'll take that. That's good enough. Yeah, it'll work. It's in the same field. But it was like real tight inside, so we're like, you can't just walk right up to him. But eventually, God brought him outside and set him just a few tables away from us. So Kelly and I went over, and we sat down and said, hey, can we talk to you? And we just sat down, and it was an older man, like 40. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right, anyways, it kind of looked like he was...
He's a younger guy, like 40.
Yeah, younger guy. And he looked like he was kind of there on a date with a lady with long brown hair. So it wasn't someone that, it was so easy to go up because you don't want to interrupt them. But they were real welcoming to us. And we were throwing some things out. We said, is your name Jack? Is your name this? Or John? None of it was lining up. And then I told her about the angel on the shoulder. And then they kind of started drawing interest. And then when I asked him, I said, do you have a little black and white dog? He just stopped and said, yeah, I do. And then he was hooked. He was into it. He had back pain. He had sinus pressure.
Come on.
We laid it on him. We put hands on him. We prayed right there. He said he felt God in him. He felt it change. And we got done. He looked up and looked right in my eyes and said, "You have no idea how much I needed this." It blew us away. Yeah, God, you blew us away. Do it again. It was great.
So we didn't know how to start at first because we were kind of like, all right, what do you do? Inside, like he said, is, you know, a little tight in there. Went outside and we're having our floats and we're joking around, sending Rick pictures of our ice cream floats, you know, and stuff. And we hand the whole list to this guy. To me, I mean, again, it's all relative, right? He looked like a single, maybe divorced guy hanging out with his one kid on a Friday night, you know, no ring on his finger. I'm like, I don't know, let's just throw the list at him, which probably will take it off with those questions next time, but threw it at him, and he goes, well, nothing's really hitting me, and then he had to, like, take the list with him, because he had to take his daughter to the restroom. We're like, oh, Rick's gonna kill us. We gave the list away, you know. So he comes back, he sits down, he goes, nothing really hits me, but this woman angel called the church this week. So now I'm like, do you work at a church? You know, what do you mean? And he was a pastor. So he's telling us about this woman angel. And so while they're off talking to this guy with the little dog, I'm talking to this pastor and just finding out what's going on with him. And I really felt like he needed to see that there are people reaching out to, you know, going out into the streets, that was something for him. So that was really fun. And then after all this, Kelly just took off. Kelly went chasing after this woman. Well, she went to get some cups of water inside. For some reason, she had her credit card out. And she had a couple words about a brown-skinned woman, Asian, Oriental, but not black, not African American. And I had gotten salt and pepper, and he had gotten salt and pepper, and so, you know, we saw all the salt and pepper shakers on the tables, but we're like, what does this mean? So she goes to get the water up at the counter, and the woman's ordering her food, and Kelly goes, let me get this for you. And she paid for the woman, which was, you know, just $6-7 or whatever, and she starts telling her about the list. And the woman's like all impressed, and she's hugging Kelly. You know, for Kelly, this was huge because she was kind of like, I don't know if I should go, you know. And then she just decided, I'm going to just have fun with this. So she's like, we're watching her. She's like, yeah, it's Kelly. Kelly's going off on her own, you know, doing her own thing. And this lady's all about saying to her, we're going to play it forward. I'm going to play that forward. I'm going to bless somebody else. And even while we were leaving, she just kept saying that. So we were just having fun with it. By that point, we were going to hook up with the rest of the team, which you guys were at the mall or something, right? And instead, because they were eventually going to come on the way back, we decided we're going to just kind of drive and figure out where to go next on the way back to church. And we stopped in Home Depot. Well, first we were going to Walmart, then we go. James and I both felt, oh, Home Depot, let's go to Home Depot. And by that point, we're just having fun with this, right? So one of the things on the list was splinters, or splinter. And we found out eventually when we got back with the main group that Rick had deep splinters also on his list. So we're just walking around, and James had felt like we should go by the children's swings, but I'm like, what children's swings in here? So anyway, we were on a wild goose chase. Figured, who's a safe guy to talk to with a splinter, right? James goes up to the guy that's using the wood saw. He's got to have a splinter, right? We're safe here. And I'm joking around at this point. I'm just yelling because we had Joe and Jill on our list my list for names, and I'm just yelling out, Joe! Joe! You know, and we're just having fun with it at this point because we're like, yeah, we can't screw this up at this point. We've had our good time, you know, and I'm yelling out, Jill! Jill! And the guy that is working the bandsaw, he goes, we have a Jill here. We have her. She works in tools, you know. So we were just having a good time. Do you have anything to add? Ronnie was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie was like 20. He was working the saw, and he had no problem letting the saw run while he talked to us. And I'm looking over, like, I guess this is safe, you know. We just, you know, we didn't lay hands on him. But just, you know, hey, you know, God's cool. You know, check out God. And he was into it. He was listening to it. And what was great about this is, you know, we weren't professionals at this. We've never done it before. We even told some people, hey, we're really nervous about this, but we're trying this out because, you know, we were like more nervous than they were, which was awkward, you know. And they're just like, that's okay, yeah, that's it. They were encouraging me as I'm trying to share this to them, right? So it was cool, you know, and it was good things. Whatever you're doing in this church, whatever the things you want to do after God, do it with some other people, because, you know, the bonds that you build through that is what's going to carry us through whatever is ahead in the future. So keep building those bonds. It's really fun, Rick. We'll do it again.